You're listening to ATE Reads, audio versions of selected content from All the Elements, a non-profit network for those working on diversity in the UK outdoors. This audio recording is made possible with support from cooperative tour operator HF Holidays, who have been providing walking and activity holidays since 1913. Find out more at hfholidays.co.uk. Hi, I'm Harriet MacMillan. I'm the author of the article you're about to hear. For the text version of this article, plus much more, head to alltheelements.co/news. Gender and hiking, creating inclusive outdoor spaces. Written by Harriet MacMillan, read by Harriet MacMillan
and Frankie Dewar, Communications Director of All the Elements. It's one of the most talked about areas of diversity in society as a whole, and the conversation in the outdoors is no different. But how can we practically support more inclusion from a gender perspective within outdoor spaces? We asked mountain leader and outdoor instructor Harriet MacMillan to share how she runs gender-inclusive outdoor sessions.
As a mountain leader with nearly 15 years of experience, I've been privileged to work in a variety of outdoor environments. My role has ranged from guiding groups through rugged landscapes to teaching individuals how to navigate hills and mountains with confidence and skill. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Harriet, a full-time outdoor instructor, specialising in courses for women and underrepresented groups. I've always been passionate about helping people access the outdoors, but my journey began in a slightly different space, working with youth groups from inner city areas. Developing a more inclusive approach to outdoor leading. In the early days of my career, I worked with young people who were often part of challenging circumstances, those affected by gang and knife crime, not in education, or from low socio-economic backgrounds. This experience opened my eyes to the barriers that exist for people based on their circumstances, barriers that are often rooted in geography, economic status, and social inequalities. Over time, my work expanded to include people from an even wider range of backgrounds, individuals in the criminal justice system, mental health groups, homeless communities, young people in care, grassroots organisations, corporate teams, apprentices, women's groups and CEOs. Most recently, I've been fortunate to instruct in inclusive climbing festivals like Climb Out and the Wanderers of Colour Festival. These varied experiences have both been humbling and illuminating. Each group I've worked with has brought new perspectives and challenges, teaching me to adapt and refine my approach to create an environment where everyone feels safe, included and inspired. A significant part of that process is thinking about how I convey myself through language, actions, and the spaces I create, and how that fosters inclusivity. For example, in November, I had the opportunity to work on an all-women team for the second time in my career. Reflecting on this, it struck me how rare such experiences are and how often they only happen when specifically requested or facilitated by someone in charge. Even in 2024, there is a clear need for greater representation and role modelling in the outdoor world. Why are we talking about gender in the outdoors? So, why is gender and hiking a conversation worth having? Simply put, representation matters. The imbalance in role models across genders directly affects who feels comfortable, welcome, and inspired to explore the mountains and hills. It's not just about who's leading these experiences, but also about who is visible and included. The outdoors is for everyone, but certain barriers can make it feel and be inaccessible for many. By addressing these issues, we can create a more inclusive and welcoming space. When discussions about gender and inclusivity arise, I often find myself wondering, what can I do? I'm a practical person, so I like to focus on actionable steps, things that others can implement in their own practices. On a personal level, it's useful to explore what unconscious biases you have about different genders, as that will impact your behaviour and the stereotypes you have about different genders. The following ideas are ones I found useful in creating a more inclusive hiking experience. While my focus is on outdoor spaces, many of these approaches can be applied in other contexts as well. Feel free to pick and choose what resonates with you and your own environment. Practical steps for gender inclusivity in hiking. 1. Bathrooms. Access to bathroom facilities, whether indoors or outdoors, can significantly impact someone's comfort level on a hike. While it might seem like a small detail, addressing this need thoughtfully can make a big difference. Indoors. Preparation. When visiting cafes or indoor locations, I always scope out the bathroom situation ahead of time so I can clearly communicate it with my group. Being upfront about what's available helps people to plan and feel more at ease. An example of what I say. The bathrooms here are labelled for all genders with signs indicating the facilities inside. Use whichever space you feel most comfortable with. Or, the bathrooms are designated as men's, women's, and there's also a separate disabled bathroom. Please use whichever one feels right for you. Outdoors. For many people, particularly those who squat to pee, finding a private spot outdoors can be challenging. This impacts hydration, since some may avoid drinking enough water to avoid needing the bathroom. I try to address this proactively. Here's an example of what I say. When we're outside, you can either stand or squat to go to the bathroom. If you need privacy, walk further away and find cover. One of us can act as a lookout if needed. If you require more privacy, I have an emergency shelter that we can use to create some privacy. For longer walks or on expeditions where you are going for number ones and number twos outdoors, I might tell people, if you stand, dig a square hole. If you squat, a rectangular hole works best to avoid splashback. 2. Periods. Periods are surrounded by unnecessary taboos, but I make a point to normalise discussions about them in all my courses. This helps everyone, whether they have periods or not, to understand and feel more comfortable. Preparation. I carry period packs that includes tampons, sanitary towels, bio-wet wipes, tissues, scented bags, painkillers and hand warmers for cramps. I encourage anyone to take what they need from me at any time. An example of what I say. For those who get periods, I've got a period pack with everything you might need to stay clean and comfortable. Feel free to grab it now or at any point today. 3. Hormonal differences. Hormones affect everyone differently, and understanding how they impact the body can be particularly relevant in outdoor activities like hiking. While I'm not an expert, I share basic knowledge and recommend books like Man Alive by Thomas Page McBee, Transgender Health by Ben Vincent, Period Power by Maisie Hill, and Stacey Sims' book, Women Are Not Small Men. An example of what I say. Our hormones can influence how we feel and perform physically. For example, hormone levels can affect hydration, energy, and recovery. If you're curious to learn more, I recommend these books. 4. Sleeping arrangements. When planning overnight trips, I ensure there are multiple options for sleeping arrangements, including single rooms or private spaces when possible. An example of what I say. Let me know privately if you have any concerns about sleeping arrangements, and I'll do my best to resolve them quickly. 5. Clothing. Outdoor clothing can be a source of frustration, especially when gear is designed with limited body types in mind. I aim to discuss options that work for a range of body shapes without making it a gendered conversation. An example of what I say. Don't worry if you don't have outdoor-specific kit. Sportswear from high street shops often works just as well. Protective clothing is important, and here are some brand recommendations based on different body shapes. X brand for folks shaped like green beans, and Y brand for those with wider hips or shorter legs. 6. Food. Food is vital for energy on hikes, and people's relationships with it can vary. I emphasise the importance of fueling the body without judgment. An example of what I say. Today we'll be exerting ourselves more than usual, so it's important to fuel our bodies appropriately. We all have unique relationships with food, so let's be respectful and supportive of one another. Here's the food I'll be taking. 7. Emotional safety. Creating a safe emotional environment is just as important as ensuring physical safety. As the leader, I set the tone by modelling respectful behaviour and establishing clear guidelines. This obviously varies from group to group. The reason this is so important to me is that when I'm taking clients walking in remote areas, if they feel emotionally safe, they are more likely to come to me and be honest of any issues, feelings, or concerns. An example of what I say. This is your day to have fun and enjoy our walk. Please feel free to eat, drink, and go to the bathroom whenever you need to. We will go at a steady pace where we are all together as a team. No one will be left at the back, and we will have regular breaks all together. Feel free to talk to each other or enjoy some quiet walking time. This is an opportunity to enjoy the outdoors and nature in any way that you want or need. If you have any questions, concerns, or want to chat, I'm here all day. 8. Language. Using inclusive language is a simple but powerful way to create a welcoming environment. I try my best to use non-gendered terms and make it clear that feedback on my language is always welcome. An example of what I say. Hi, I'm Harriet, she, her. If I'm unsure of someone's pronouns, I default to they, them until I've been told otherwise. Or, hey folks, team, let's get started. Implementing small changes can have a big impact on gender inclusivity. Creating an inclusive hiking environment requires intentional effort, from practical considerations like bathrooms and clothing to creating emotional safety and using inclusive language. By addressing these barriers, we can inspire more people to feel welcome in the outdoors and break down the gender imbalance that exists in many spaces. The outdoors belongs to everyone, and it's up to all of us to make that a reality. Whether you're a guide, a group leader, or simply someone who loves hiking, small conscious steps can make a significant impact. With representation, open dialogue, and practical solutions, we can create spaces where everyone feels empowered to connect with nature and enjoy hiking.
Thank you for listening to this article. Harriet MacMillan is an expert with over 20 years of experience in the publishing and outdoor activities industry, specialising in walking, mountaineering, and climbing. She's passionate about making the outdoors accessible to everyone, combining her extensive knowledge with a friendly and inspiring approach to encourage others to explore the Lake District and further afield. To find out more information about Harriet, upcoming courses, and her wider work, visit www.navigationwithharriet.co.uk or follow her on Instagram @navigationwithharriet. All the Elements is a non-profit community of individuals creating access and representation for systemically excluded and underrepresented groups in the UK outdoors. We run events, offer one-on-one support, curate online resources, promote the work and success of our community members, offer consultancy and more. You can find out more on our website, follow us on social media and subscribe to our Substack newsletter. Thank you to HF Holidays for making the audio version of this article possible. HF Holidays is Britain's longest-running cooperative tour operator, with over 111 years' experience in organising walking and activity holidays worldwide. They connect like-minded people through shared outdoor experiences and have a community of 48,000 members who have a passion for the countryside. As a B Corp certified business, they are dedicated to sustainable travel and community and focused initiatives such as their Pathways Fund, which has been raising money to provide assisted holidays and preserve and protect the countryside. Find out more at hfholidays.co.uk or via the link in our show notes. Things you can do next. 1. Learn more about how hormonal differences can affect hiking experiences by reading Women Are Not Small Men by Stacey Sims, and find out more of her wider work on her website. 2. Climb Out is the UK's first queer outdoor climbing festival, combining trad climbing, sport climbing and bouldering with queer joy outdoors. The next festival takes place the 23rd to the 26th of May 2025 at Thornbridge Outdoors, Derbyshire. Find out more at climbOut.org. 3. The Wonders of Colour Festival was the UK's first climbing festival by and for Black and people of colour and took place from the 4th to the 7th of July 2024. Find out more and hear about future events at wondersofcolour.com/festival. Gender in Hiking, Creating Inclusive Outdoor Spaces was first published on alltheelements.co on the 13th of February 2025. For the text version of the article, further resources on gender in hiking, you can find a link to the article in the notes for this episode.